Hey guys, today is a TV review, or rather a Netflix review. It's about the show Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Actually, that's a comedy, and if you haven't seen it, I have to recommend you see it because I didn't know I actually like this show so much. I mean, I had seen season 1 and 2, but with season 3, I'm like, yeah, I remember these characters, and I actually love these characters because they are insane. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, for for those of you who don't know, is about this woman played by Ellie Kemper that was kept in a bunker by a reverend, a crazy reverend that believed in doomsday and all that shit. And she was there with a bunch of women, but she was liberated by the police, and now she's like living in New York, discovering the world, and she's full of optimism, which is kind of annoying to be honest. I mean, everyone is annoyed by her because she's just too optimistic, and you can see it on her clothes. She always wears like these bright colors all over. I mean, it's insane. From that detail you can get the series is pretty crazy. I just love these characters. I just love them so much. Titus Burgess plays Titus Andromedon, who is her gay roommate, if you will, and well, not kind of roommate, flatmate, whatever. Carol Kane is their neighbor, upstairs neighbor, I think, and Jane Krakowski plays Jacqueline, which is actually Jacqueline, something. I mean, her name is actually different because she's actually Native American, and she changed her name and everything to become like this great thing on the city, but she only became someone's wife, and now he's no one's wife, and she has like a boyfriend who's the worst person ever because he's so ugly and stupid and awful, but he has good feelings and he's a nice person actually. So she falls in love with him because he's actually very nice to her, not like her former husband who was not really that nice to her. And the story, I mean, the series is great because it has that premise, it has like stories, but between those stories there are so many stupid jokes, like silly things that happen. I mean, there are like things that go through the episodes, if you will, but they don't really matter that much sometimes. For example, I mean, some of the best things on the series come out of nowhere, just like nowhere. So for example, the Titus was on a cruise ship and he jumped because he betrayed Dionne Warwick, which is just stupid. Dionne Warwick is actually this series is produced by Tina Fey, so many of the people that are in the show are like occasionally guest stars are SNL alumni, if you will. So in this season it's Maya Rudolph who plays Dionne Warwick, and Rachel Dracht who plays one of Kimmy's college professors. So it's really fun. I mean, they're really great, and Maya Rudolph with that crazy accent as Dionne Warwick is just amazing. And Titus thinks he ate Dionne Warwick, but he didn't eat anything. He ate something, but it wasn't really. It was a dolphin, I think it was, instead of Dionne. I mean, it's so stupid, but you actually laugh, and it makes sense with these characters because they are so silly. They're so out there. So for example, Kimmy, she lived through this traumatic experience, and actually this season is really great because they explore the fact that she doesn't really want to talk about it. She it's the only thing that's like interesting about her, and like everything that the internet knows about her, but she doesn't really want to talk about being a mole woman and how she was like brainwashed by the reverend. So it's really funny because they explore that, and that's a serious thing because that has happened to people. Women that have been kidnapped for years and nobody knew. Well, their family knew, of course, but they didn't know where they were, and now they are in the world, and it's just a crazy new world for them. So that's really fun, but they explore it from the perspective of comedy, and that's really clever. For example, she wants to she got her GED, which is the school certificate, I guess, and now she wants to go to college, and she wanted to be like a crossing guard, but then she goes to college and she fails college because she doesn't have the grades, and then she becomes a crossing guard again, and they don't let her be that because she's married to a a molester basically. So it's because the Reverend married her. So it's really crazy, but at the same time it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it really makes a lot of noise, if you will, this series, because also, for example, Jacqueline, her Native American background, and she wants to get into Ross's family, her new boyfriend, if you will, because they are the owners of the Redskins, the baseball team, I think it is. I don't know if it's baseball, but whatever. And she wants to change her name because, as you may know, the Redskins are protested very often because calling something Redskin, it's really racist. I mean, it's not a cool thing for Native Americans. It's really a cultural thing, it's not cool. So they want to change that, and she manages to change the name. I mean, it's so clever, that episode. It's so amazing, and I think they portray like very strong women, but at the same time they are women that are very flawed. For example, she goes through all this thing about getting into that rich family, and by the end she realizes that she has discovered so many new things about her that she didn't know. She didn't know she could cook. She didn't know she could manage a proper thing, a proper business, if you will. Didn't know she could take care of people. She didn't know she had other things in her that before she was only a kept woman. And there's such a funny joke about that, because she says that she's a kept woman like Melania Trump or Mrs. Claus, but Mrs. Claus doesn't even go to the gym. I mean, that's just funny. I mean, I just laughed like an idiot when she said that. Partly because of Melania Trump, but also Mrs. Claus. I mean, that was really clever. But it's all funny, and she's an awful person also, but she's a good person in other things. So it's kind of insane. The neighbor, played by Carol Kane, she falls in love with this guy, and he's a rich guy, and she's against everything that represents money, basically. But she falls in love at the end of it. So I mean, it's pretty hopeful and it's pretty nice. I mean, you get, at the end you get like positive because of all that positivity. You're like, yeah, they should be together or whatever. The only one that doesn't, I mean, partly doesn't get that nice, get to that better place, let's say, it's Titus, because he escapes that cruise ship. He thinks he ate the young Warwick. He ends up his relationship with his boyfriend because he believes that his boyfriend is too new to the gay world and that he needs like some experience and like going out a little bit and such. But in that process he ends up with another guy he's gorgeous, the other guy, and Titus realizes that Mikey, who's his former boyfriend, might not go back to him ever again. So I mean, that's really sad, but it's actually funny, all the process that he has, that realizing that, and it serves a great scene in the series when he's like, I'm so pissed, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going lemonading. And I have to confess, I have never seen Beyonce's Lemonade. I just don't care for Beyonce. I mean, I don't really particularly like her music, some of her songs, but not really her music. The Bajancy is going to get me, I think. But I think that scene is so on point, because I had seen some, steals and things from Lemonade, but I didn't know it was like that. And he did like three or four scenes doing like a music video thing, sorry for the noise, and it was so insane and awesome and funny and just smart, because they used pop culture to bring the message out there. Yeah, it's insane that he's heartbroken and everything, and they have a lot of puns to Donald Trump, and they have a lot of jokes about Hillary and about the election. I mean, it's really funny. So I mean, you could call this show like like a liberal show, but they have also a few jokes about the other side. So it's pretty balanced, I think, and it's pretty funny. It's hilarious show. They have these stupid jokes all around about the silliest things. For example, Titus goes out with another guy, and he and the guy has a daughter, a baby daughter called Linda, and he says that Linda is a name for someone working on human resources that says, oh, Mondays. And actually he goes to an office building and he summons all the Lindas that work on human resources, and they agree with him that Linda is a name for someone older. So I didn't know that in the United States Linda was considered an older name, but it was so funny and so silly and stupid, but at the same time it makes sense for the characters. And I think that's why this series is pretty brilliant, because it's a comedy that, you know, understands its characters and just plays with them and makes them like sail through the real world, because you don't really get to see the real world that often in the series, because you realize that the world is not as serious as you think it is. And I think that's amazing. I think that's so much fun. I think that's very intelligent, and I can't wait for season 4. I know we're getting season 4. I mean, it's a great series. I think Ellie Kemper has been nominated for Emmys and Golden Globes, maybe some Titus Burgess too, and the series. So it's going to go on for a 4th season at least, I'm sure of it. And they also have like a scene shared with Orange is the New Black, which is another Netflix property, and that's amazing. I mean, the scene is very short, but it's very funny, and it's very smart that they, you know, like do these things like crossover, because they should start doing that. They have so many series now, so it's like the smart thing to do. So yeah, I just love this series. I really recommend it. It's downloadable now, or you can watch it. You can watch it on Netflix at any time. I mean, it was released May the 20th, I think. And yes, I'm going to wait for Orange is the New Black, actually, which is in June or July, something like that. And afterwards, it's Game of Thrones, which I'm really excited for. And I hope you have seen that amazing trailer they released recently. So yeah, this is my review for season 3 of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Thank you for watching this video. Watch these 2 previous reviews or videos in English in general, and please subscribe to my channel for many more reviews of TV shows and movies and many other things that I have on my mind and I have to tell to a camera, because I would go insane if I didn't do that. Thank you so much. Goodbye.